We're going to bring in Josie Duffy-Rice from the Justice Collaborative to talk about a blueprint for a safer and more just America. And this was also recently featured in the New York Times. Josie is an attorney and writer. So you know what, I want to jump right into it. For our viewers who may not know, can you explain the Justice Collaborative?
Yeah, we're an organization that works with local elected officials, organizing groups, and other people interested in criminal justice reform to really pass progressive policies and bold policies to end mass incarceration.
So you all put out this report, which, and I want to read the first couple lines just word for word because I think they're pretty powerful. It says, our criminal justice system is responsible for balancing the need for security within our communities with the freedoms and opportunities that every person needs to live a dignified life. Right now, across the country, we are not striking the right balance. Can you just break that down for our viewers?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more common knowledge than it ever has been before, right? That we're in the midst of what is a very serious mass incarceration crisis in this country. We overcriminalize, we overpunish, and what we're actually doing is not making our communities any safer. We are, we're actually putting people in more harm's way. When you face criminalization for being poor, right? For not having a place to sleep at night, for not dressing the right way in some places, you can get cited for, not having your pants pulled up, or, putting your trash can on the wrong side of the road. When almost everything is included in how we think about criminalization, we're not any safer, right? We're actually at so much more risk because we have the state bearing down on us, over criminalizing people and putting them, and then jailing them and imprisoning them in systems that don't make them any better when they're out. So that is, I think the idea of the criminal justice system taking care of public safety has for many years not been the case.
So what are the solutions to these kinds of problems? When you have, you say that the problem is that you're being criminalized for being poor. How do you go about fixing that?
Yeah, so we presented in our blueprint over 30 kind of policy solutions that are split into kind of general categories. And one of them is stop making poverty a crime. And one way to do that is stop criminally prosecuting people for not having enough money to pay their bail, pay their fines and fees that they're getting as a result of being criminalized. So often in this country, people are just wrestling with the criminal justice system for years because they don't have a couple extra $100 or extra $1,000. And that should not be the way that we criminalize people in a country that prides itself on being a country of liberty and freedom.
And then when it comes to your messaging, what messaging do you find is the most successful in resonating with people that need to be part of affecting this change? I guess that's my question, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a question I've been trying to answer for 4 years now, and that we have. I think it depends on the population. I think it depends on who you're talking to. I say that as a journalist, but I would say that what we find really effective and what we think really works is talking to people about what makes them feel safe. Right? Does it make you feel safe if your child is at school and gets in an argument, not even a physical argument, and might be arrested? Does that make you feel safe? Does it make you feel safe to know that you might have neighbors down the street who can't pay a couple $1,000s fine and are waiting to be picked up by the police? Does it make you feel safe to know that your kid could get shot in the middle of the street and nobody would, the police officer wouldn't be held accountable? These are things that reflect, all of us want to live in a world of safety. All of us want to live in a world where we can raise our kids, where they can make mistakes, but generally not spend 20 years in prison for something small, or any time in prison for something small. We want to raise our kids in a world that is both free and safe. And right now we don't have either, really, because of our criminal justice system. So, I don't know anybody that doesn't want those things, and I think that's what we're trying to translate with these policies that we hope not only state officials or local officials, but also presidential candidates will really engage with.
So I guess the question is, how do people help? How do people out there, if they want to, I love the message, and you've laid out in this blueprint kind of how we need to address it, but what do we get to do? How do we help out with the process?
Yeah, so I'd say a few things. One is that we're at a really exciting time, right? We have I heard the conversation just now on reparations. There's an entire potential for presidential candidates to be taking on issues that they previously would not have if they understand that they're resonating with the larger public. And I think some of these are huge ones that we can encourage them to take on and signal that they're important. One of them being the right to vote. So, as part of our blueprint, we advocate for no one losing the right to vote because of a criminal sentence or conviction. That is, you should be able to vote in jail. You should be able to vote in prison. You should be able to vote the minute you're out. That is something that we really embrace, and we hope that presidential candidates will embrace as well. And Bernie actually already said something about this just last week. The other big way, I think, to encourage people or to prove to people that they really have the power to make change here is to look at who your local sheriff is, look at who your local DA is, ask questions about their policies, find out how much bail they're charging people who can't afford it, right? Find out who they're sentencing to prison, who they're turning over to ICE, who they're collaborating with, what they're prosecuting, and the return on investment for knowing these things and encouraging the DA to change their practices is massive. I can't tell you how many people, how many DAs we've seen be voted out or have to change their policies over the past just 5 years because people are really starting to pay attention to the power of those jobs. You should know who has the power of criminalization where you live, both on the local level and the state level, and you should hold them accountable.
Josie, thank you so much. I think everyone should check this report out, A Blueprint for a Safer and More Just America. There's a point in there that you guys break down, like as far as solutions you were talking about, Brett, about the importance of treating children like children. And I think everyone should go and check that out because that takes me back to our very first story of the show today, what happened in Chicago. Once again, thank you so much for being here with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.